Thank you, Madam City Manager. Mr. Mayor and members of the council, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening as you consider my appointment to Chief of Police of the Berkeley Police Department. I'd like to start by affirming to you that I'm fully committed to the proposition that our department's actions must inspire and enhance trust within our community in everything we do, and that will help us best serve our community. Trust is the key to our success. And with that, I know that when our people work with integrity and respect, with open lines of communication, using progressive policies and practices, with authentic human engagement and always evident professionalism, our department will fulfill its potential as an extraordinary Berkeley institution, deeply rooted in a history of innovative policing and deserving of the trust and respect of our unique and diverse community. I'm grateful to be working here. I was born and raised in Berkeley, came up through Jefferson, Franklin, King, and Berkeley High. My wife and I are raising our family here, and they too have come up through the Berkeley Public Schools. My parents still live in the house where where I grew up, and my sister and her family live in town as well. My life in Berkeley has and will inform my work in the Berkeley Police Department throughout the many roles in my career. As chief, I think I bring a uniquely local perspective to formulating strategy, policies, and engaging with our community. I am mindful of the broad range of diverse views and interests of our community and firmly rooted in principled constitutional policing while being cognizant of the issues and challenges facing the men and women of our department on a day-to-day basis while they work to keep our community safe. 6 months ago, the city manager gave me an opportunity to lead and to actually get on to the work of taking the department into the future. And to that end, we have been working hard. We've developed a new mission, vision, values statement, which we've given to the department and which we introduced to you just a few weeks ago. We restructured the department to better allocate responsibility and increase efficiency. We work to keep you and our community well informed as we face some significant civil disturbance events over the past few weeks. I've focused on building community trust and developing relationships, and met with community members in a wide series of meetings, including our business community, neighborhood groups, and individuals to discuss a wide variety of important issues. We have kept our top internal priority of staffing. I've made 14 promotions, 9 sworn and 5 professional staff, and hired 10 officers. And within the department, I've focused internal communication on recognizing good work and linking that work up to our mission, vision, and values, which I believe reflect the core values of our community as well. And through it all, I've been working to support the Police Review Commission through attending more of their meetings, spending more time at their meetings, and through respectful communication and collaboration across a variety of issues with which they're engaged. And we have a lot of good work ahead of us. For example, we'll be working on the Community Surveillance Ordinance put forth by Councilmember Worthington last June. I know that government surveillance is an important issue in our community, and this ordinance referral has gone to the PRC, then to the Disaster and Fire Safety Commission. It'll come back to the PRC and the Commission, and our staff will work to craft the ordinance language. I've met with the principal author, Brian Hofer of Oakland Privacy, and Elliot Halpern of the Northern California ACLU, and have heard how the ordinance has been developed, how the model ordinance has been developed, and how other jurisdictions have moved their way towards versions of the ordinance that fit their local community. I've also heard another representative from the ACLU address the Police Review Commission, and my sense is we'll be able to move forward in a very productive way when that returns to the Police Review Commission and get a really meaningful ordinance squared away for our community. Members of our community are also concerned about issues that affect police-community relations across the nation. One of those is the police stops. I know our members are concerned about any indication of biased policing, of racial profiling, both in our car stops and our pedestrian stops, and in our use of force. To that end, we've provided data to the nationally recognized Center for Policing Equity. This group is working to bring meaningful analysis to stop and force data, and we look forward to hearing their report on stop data on May 24th, when Dr. Philip Goff of CPE will be presenting their findings. And I expect that'll be a very public meeting, and I expect that that meeting and that presentation will generate meaningful and constructive dialogue. Policing doesn't happen in a vacuum, and racial disparities are experienced across many, if not all, of our institutions. The challenge for us is to ensure that we, the Berkeley Police Department, are doing everything we can to guard against disparities arising out of police-citizen contacts, those things which we have control over. And I look forward to May 24th and the discussion and the work that will follow. Another issue of great importance for our community and in fact across the country is police use of force. It's one of the most sensitive and important issues facing our country today, and concerns around its use or misuse have deep and serious effects on the trust between police departments and their communities. For its time, our use of force policy and the reporting thresholds where we report force were considered progressive. But over time, given society's concerns about force, we're working to update them and to integrate force reporting into a new software system we have. I'd like to start, though, by pointing out some important contextual information when we think about force. In 2016, the Berkeley Police Department responded to 78,700 calls for service. 78,700 calls for service. Made over 3,200 arrests. Issued over 5,600 citations. In all that activity, which again totals something on the order of 8,800 enforcement contacts, there were 32 reported uses of force. That's our staff reporting their use of force according to our policy. In other words, reported force is used on about 1 of every 100 arrests. There were 8 complaints in 2016 about use of force, just relating to force. So out of every 400 arrests, we had 1 complaint about the use of force. That's about 1/4%. But the small amount, relatively speaking, doesn't take away from the fact that we need to recognize, and we do recognize, that our thresholds for reporting use of force need adjustment. And with that in mind, we're going to make those changes in our policy and bring them in line with today's community expectations. I anticipate we'll be reporting on that process to you in the fall at our mid-year crime report. And we're also looking at this as an opportunity to move towards an annual public use of force report so we can let our community see how frequently force is used and needed to overcome resistance. New standards for reporting and our new system will allow us to increase transparency in this important aspect of police work. With regards to body-worn cameras, our staff is working on the procurement process now in conjunction with the finance department, who will ensure that our procurement practices are properly adhered to. And once we've completed that work, which I think will be the next few weeks, we will come to council with an item authorizing us to, requesting your authorization to obtain the equipment needed to undertake a full implementation of body-worn cameras.
Great.
Separately, the work with the PRC on drafting that policy regarding body-worn cameras is near conclusion, taking it to the greatest step that we can, given the fact we don't actually have the equipment yet. Our final language on the last couple of outstanding issues went to the PRC actually earlier today, and I've committed to the PRC that we'll lay out a timeline once we have a solid sense of the timing of the council item, and we'll go from there in terms of giving them an idea, and you an idea of our timeline of our plans to go to full implementation. In any case, just know that I, and in fact we, this is not an item that is meeting internal resistance. The men and women of the Berkeley Police Department recognize the value of body-worn cameras, and frankly, I think the vast majority would say they would like to be wearing them right now, and they're looking forward to them. And so we're committed to that full program as quickly as we're able to implement it. And then regarding the Police Review Commission, I've mentioned them a couple of times already, but I think it's important to let you know I have a great deal of respect for the role of the Police Review Commission in our community, the importance of civilian review in our community, and the Commission members' engagement with the issues we're dealing with. I've made it a point to get oriented to the Commission, the various subcommittees, and the topics they're dealing with by attending their full meetings, and that's indicative of my desire and my intent to do productive work and meaningful work with the PRC from this point, in fact, from the last 6 months and this point forward. I also will be inviting each of the commissioners to tour the police department and to meet with me so we have a chance to hear out what their particular concerns are, what issues they're interested in, and to hopefully make progress in terms of hearing out those issues. And then finally, as your interim chief, I've been able to move on a number of issues I've mentioned earlier, working with our remarkable staff. One of the most satisfying parts of my work has been engaging with the community in a variety of settings, hearing folks' concerns, explaining what we do and why, and connecting our community. And that's happening all the time in my life. It's in the morning, as I'm stopping at Pete's on the way into work. It's at our Coffee with the Cops meetings. It's at meetings and interactions that happen all the time. And I think it's important for us to have honest conversations with our community about what we do and why, and that those discussions include both perceptions and feelings and the facts and the data. I think those elements give us the best chance at getting the information we need to understand where we are, where we should be going, and to be able to provide you with the accurate information in terms of crafting policy for our department, for our city. Those interactions also create opportunities for empathy and understanding, and they foster trust, which again is our ultimate goal. As your appointed chief, I'm going to hold a series of community forums focused on what people see as strengths and weaknesses of the Berkeley Police Department, and to hear from the community what they're concerned about in the police-community relationship dynamic, how we can best meet their needs and expectations. I intend that these forums will help inform and guide me and my command team as we move forward, and ensure that we're on the right path, that our team is working smartly towards creating long-term strategies for crime prevention, community engagement, communication with our community, and of course, at all times, keeping our community safe. So thank you for your consideration of this appointment. I can't express how much it means to me to have the opportunity to serve you as in the role of as a Berkeley police officer in the role of a chief. And I look forward to serving and supporting you and our department and our community into a bright future.
I want to second all of the comments that the council has made about your work, Chief Greenwood. It's really been a pleasure to work closely with you in the 4 months since I've taken office, and whether it's your very thoughtful approach to how we respond to social unrest in our community, to keep our community safe. I've seen firsthand the very thoughtful, the very progressive approach that you've taken to make sure that the right to freedom of speech is respected. At the same time, we are holding people accountable who are committing vandalism or violence. And I look forward to your leadership and navigating Berkeley through some very difficult times in the coming years ahead. But I have the utmost confidence that you'll be able to do so successfully. And people know that this past Saturday, our chief was at a meeting of over 50 Berkeley residents who are interested in Berkeley's sanctuary policy and how they could take action for Berkeley to remain a sanctuary city. And he, on his free time, came out to meet with the community to reiterate the police department's commitment to not enforcing federal immigration law. And it provided a great deal of relief and pride to the people in that room that we have a police department that is going to honor the civil rights and civil liberties of all people, whether they're citizens of this country or not. And I think that just shows the very progressive approach that you take. And so it's not surprising, given that you're from Berkeley. And I think you're deeply rooted in our community's values. The support you have from within the ranks is incredibly important. At our closed session meeting, when we were considering this appointment, the Berkeley Police Association and representatives of the Berkeley Police Department spoke in strong support of the appointment of Chief Greenwood. I think that's important, that we have a leader who is not only coming from the ranks, but has support of the rank and file of the department. So I am very honored to support your appointment. Thank you so much for your many years of service, and we look forward to your exceptional service as our new Chief of Police. So with that, we'll take public comment on item 2. Who would like to speak to this item?
Was there public input? Was the process open? And the answer is no. What we heard was that Mr. Greenwood was liked by the force and by the city manager. And personally, I know lots of people at my lab that are very liked and have worked there 30 years and are hardworking and everything else, but they're not really suitable necessarily for management. That's not really the best qualification determination.
This is insane. The police are literally just standing around, not doing anything. Look at them. There's a number of riot cops here. There's clashes and fights and people getting seriously hurt and injured, but these guys are just standing there. Why are they standing there, not doing anything? There's those guys, and there's people getting seriously hurt over there.